talk about Loki episode 4. Um, what the hell is the name of this episode? What was the name of it? Uh,
Uh,
I'm gonna
the
kick
Nexus
myself.
event. The Nexus
Yeah, the
event.
Nexus event. And we know what the Nexus event. It was. It. I don't think this is as big an event as they made it out to be. But hey, the Nexus event. Um, so last we checked, episode 3, Lamentus, Loki and Sylvie, aka Lady Loki, aka Sylvie, we'll call her that. They were stuck on the world, the moon of Lamentus, as Lamentus itself was preparing to completely annihilate that civilization, an extinction level event. Everyone's going to die, and they were stuck
Mhm.
on Lamentus, and that's where the episode opens. And you know, we proceed from there. Uh, our pair of Lokis get out of this jam? So, before I give my thoughts, I would like to uh, give the floor to you, Lottie. Let me know, let everyone else know what you thought. Non spoiler, of course, what you thought
Okay.
about this episode.
Okay. Another episode that I loved, by the way. I love this. I love this episode. It was, to me, it was another good episode. I enjoyed myself watching it. You know, it's like you said, you go back and you go like, well, dang, last episode it gave us a little bit of information, but this episode it started finally answering some questions that we've all had. And like I said, from the beginning to the end, like I told you, I have a new TV now, so it looked a lot better than it did on the TV that I have in my room. So seeing, like I said, the presentation, bringing all the characters that are into this one episode, seeing the different aspects of their relationships, expanding upon them, and the few little like because like you said, you give the name was very apt, the Loki of love, because it's not just the Loki of love, because I'm pretty sure what the audience is thinking. It's not just that love. There's just different people, their relationships with each other, and there are some betrayals, there was some happiness, there was a lot of sadness, but it was in probably the best episode this season,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
No. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. Um. Yeah. I don't want to step on your review real quick. So if you're, let me know if you
No,
have
yeah, I'm
more to
pretty
say.
much done. I'm done now.
Okay. All right. So my thoughts on it. This is absolutely the best episode of this season. An episode where I felt like exposition was balanced out with activity. I've been wondering about this. I'm like, what are we doing in this show? Because it felt like a whole lot of exposition, but not a whole lot of action. And the little bit of action that did happen, it just didn't seem to push the story forward. But in this episode, they've actually decided to put their foot on the accelerator and get things like really moving. And so a lot of the seed, to their credit, a lot of the seeds that have been planted in previous episodes have started to bear fruit. And this episode, where we start off with Loki and Sylvie about to die, literally about to die. We see a shockwave about to hit them, and then a couple doors open, and they are able to leave. But they know it's death or capture, and so they have to go. They have to
Mm-hmm.
go back, and from there, I ask myself questions like, what if they just want to get rid of these guys? Why don't they just get rid of them? And so it starts making you wonder. It started making me wonder, like, what is really the end game here? What's the ultimate goal of the powers that be? Um, they they gave us a look at the timekeepers. They gave us a look at maybe inside the minds of up until this point, which have been pretty opaque, the minds of the TVA agents, the various ones that we sort of know, right?
Hmm.
And we see how in this episode we are, again, seeds that were planted earlier. We see how Lokis ultimately are gods of mischief and chaos, and just
Yep.
their mere existence can upset the balance of an organization that seemingly has been around for a really long time, and they're really good at their job. But somehow, when I
Well,
one you
I
know,
got a lot to say about that. But
well,
go ahead and
yeah, I
keep
was
going.
just saying, like, one, not one Loki, but two of them who kind of who they've kind of started a ball rolling downhill that is, could really upend, everything we know and understand about what the TVA is. And I think you get a lot of really good character moments that do not have to be in a slow time. There's a lot of good character interaction that goes on in this episode that does not require two people to sit down and just talk. There's actually things moving on. Things are happening. You feel like there's a dynamic feeling to this episode that I've been missing, even from the
Hmm.
previous episode when they were out on a walkabout. And so, and there's real. I felt like there was real emotional connection between characters. There's some pretty telling, I guess, some pretty telling interaction between Loki and Mobius that I didn't quite expect to see. And when I saw it and really thought about it, I was like, wow, the writers really thought about how they were going to construct that relationship between Mobius, because it's not a long relationship. They haven't known each other that long, and yet there's
Hmm.
one there that's pretty strong. And also between Mobius and Ravonna, and between uh, you know uh, Hunter B-15 and Sylvie. So there's just like a lot of that stuff swirling around, and you can just see the chaos magic, if you will, that's really leading to what like I said, maybe the upheaval in the TVA. And I love it. This is the first episode I can say I loved this episode. Everything that happened in it seemed to a purpose. They weren't just treading water. We're going somewhere, and I that goddamn post credit scene was so fire. So fire. It's, I mean, this episode did what I wanted to do. It made me. I had to pause the episode several times to sit and talk to Jen and just be like, "This is this. This is what this means. This speculation that I thought this was what was happening. This is what was happening, or
Yep.
or this is really what's happening." And there was a twist at the end. They did everything right in this episode. Everything correct to hook me. They should have done this 2 episodes ago, but they did it in this episode, and I'm down with it. I want to see where the hell this train is going. So that's what I feel about this episode. It was pretty awesome. So what did you guys think about this episode? What did you think about our comments? Why don't you get down to the comment section and let us know what you're thinking. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. We can chop it up about Loki. Everyone loves Loki. It's going hard on social media right now. So hit us up. We'd like to talk about it.
Hmm.